name is Letitia, if you haven't already met me. Today I'm going to be teaching about a 30-minute long YIN class, okay? It's going to be specifically geared towards shoulder opening, chest opening, and posture correction. I have this thing with posture because of all the technology that we have and all the desk jobs and all the driving that we do. I just feel like it's a huge need in the community, in our society today. So I really like to try to focus on like here and up with all of my classes, unless I'm gonna do something a little bit different. But for now, this is what I do. So I hope that it helps you and I hope that you enjoy it. So we're gonna begin on our backs. I like to open up the spine to begin my classes because, like I said, here and up. So I'm gonna take some blocks. If you have blocks, go ahead and grab your blocks. If you don't have any blocks at home, you can always use a pillow or just a throw blanket. You can fold it up and then just roll it into like a long tube shape. And then you're just gonna lay it where you would lay your spine on your mat. So if you're using blocks, I'm taking my first block on its highest setting, but you can flip them around however you want to, whatever feels good to your back. If the highest setting is uncomfortable, just flip them down and make it comfortable for you. My second block, my first block is gonna go vertically. My second block is gonna go horizontally about 4 to 6 inches above the first block. Again, feel free to flip this block around as well. Okay, and then we're just going to lay back on the blocks or the blanket. I like to start about midway up the back. Okay, and then just lay back nice and slow, and then resting the back of the head on that top block. And then we're allowing those arms to just fall open. And then you're extending your legs long. Or if you'd like to open in the hips, you can bring the soles of the feet to touch. And then you're letting the knees lay out wide. And then once you've found your comfortable position, take a nice deep inhale. And then let that go. And just allow the body to completely melt with that exhale. Relaxing all of the muscles. Allowing the jaw to gap open just slightly. Removing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Closing the eyes. And then just watching the breath. And now we're going to start to count that breath. Manipulating it just a little bit, drawing it in a little bit deeper than you would naturally. And we're inhaling for maybe the count of 8. And then we're matching that exhale to meet the same count as the inhale. So if you're inhaling for the count of 8, you're exhaling for the count of 8 as well. Attempting to draw that breath all the way up into the back of the head, creating space in the spine. And then on the exhale, we're really pushing that exhale all the way out, contracting the lower abs. And now we're just noticing any sensations in the body at this time. Maybe noticing the coolness of the air on the skin. Noticing the pressure of the blocks or the blanket or the mat against the body. Noticing any sounds that you're hearing, noticing any smells. Just noticing all of the senses, checking in with the body. Noticing if you're holding any tension anywhere. And on the exhale, just allowing that tension to completely leave the body along with the breath. And now if you'd like to set an intention for your practice, you can do that at this time. Maybe you'd like to dedicate your practice to a person or a goal of some sort, maybe. And then once you've got your intention, go ahead and draw that breath all the way in. And hold the breath in for just a few seconds. Sealing in that intention and then letting that breath go. And now we're going to slowly roll over onto whichever side that you choose. Resting the head on the bicep. Bringing the knees up into a little fetal position. And then we're going to move those blocks off of the mat or your blanket. And then we're slowly going to come up to a seated position. Just crossing the legs here. I like to stagger my ankles out. That way I'm not creating any pressure on my bones. And then we're just going to take the palms to the knees. And also, if you're feeling really tight in your knees or your hips, you can take that blanket and you can place it underneath the seat. It'll lift the hips up a little bit. Replacing the palms to the knees. Take a nice deep inhale. Roll those shoulders back and down. Pull the shoulders out of the ears, and then we're lengthening through the neck and the crown of the head. Reaching that head up towards the ceiling. Drawing that navel to the spine. And then just stacking those shoulders directly over the hips. Maybe drawing that chin back and down just a little bit, just to create extra length and space in the back of the neck. Right. And then we're going to begin some seated cat-cows just to loosen up the spine. So take a nice deep inhale. Extend the chest forward, drop the head back, lift the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then we're exhale, rounding into the upper back. Draw that navel to the spine, drop that chin to the chest. Again, inhaling, lifting the chest, lifting the gaze, dropping that head back. Exhale, rounding, chin to chest, navel to spine. And then just do this about 4 more times on your own breath. Always inhaling into that extension in the chest, exhaling into the rounding of the back. And then we're coming back to a neutral spine. And now we're going to start some seated hip circles. So we're going to start our circles to the right. We're inhaling into the front of that circle just like we did with the cat-cows. Exhaling into the back of the circle. Inhale, extend that chest forward, drop the head back. Exhale, rounding, navel to spine, chin to chest. And then feel free to take some movement in the neck and head here. Maybe allowing the head to come all the way back, the ears to drop to the shoulders, and the chin to the chest. And then we're coming back to a neutral spine, and we're just going to switch the direction of our circles. So circling to the left. Inhaling into the front, exhaling into the back. Taking movement in the head and neck. Allowing those ears to drop to the shoulders, the head to fall back, and the chin to the chest. Still continuing to lengthen through the neck and the crown of the head. And then coming back to a neutral spine. And we're going to inhale the arms out and up. Bring those palms to touch, lift the chest, lift the gaze, pull those shoulders out of the ears, and keep that navel drawn to the spine. Exhale those palms back down. Inhaling, sweeping the arms out and up. Exhale those palms back down. One last time. Inhaling. This time holding the breath as long as you can hold it. Trying to keep those arms up by the ears. Holding that breath until you can't hold it any longer. And then when you can't hold it any longer, go ahead and release the breath and let the palms float back down. And we're going to take an inhale, sweep that right arm up and overhead. Lift the gaze towards the ceiling, lengthen through the neck and the crown of the head. Exhale that right palm down, inhale that left palm up. Again, the gaze is to the ceiling, lengthening through the neck and the crown of the head. Exhale the left palm back down. Inhale the right palm up again. Maybe going down a little bit farther towards the ground. Inhaling that palm, that right palm back down to the floor. Inhaling that left palm up and overhead. And then one last time. Inhaling the right palm up. Exhaling the palm back down. Inhaling that left palm up. Exhaling that palm back down. And then we're going to come over to a tabletop position. Stacking the shoulders over the wrists. Stacking the hips over the ankles, over the knees. Come onto the toes, just to give yourself a little more leverage. And then we're lengthening through the neck and the crown of the head. The gaze is out in front of you about 3 to 4 feet. Pulling those shoulders out of the ears, drawing that navel to the spine, rolling those sit bones up and back. And then we're just going to slowly start to walk the palms out in front of us. Keeping those hips directly over the knees. Try to get the thumbs to touch if you can, because we're trying to keep those palms in, trying to keep those forearms parallel, trying to keep the upper arms parallel. And then you can take your forehead to the mat. And we're trying to drop that chest all the way down to the mat. If you need to go a little bit deeper here, you can lift your gaze out towards the fingertips and take that chin to the mat. And we're just trying to get that chest as close to the mat as possible. Keep that navel drawn to the spine. Nice deep breaths here. Still counting the breath. We're just holding here for about 3 minutes. Make sure you're drawing that breath all the way up into the back of the head. Creating extra space. And then exhaling, pushing that breath all the way down into the tailbone. Contracting the lower abs. Pushing that breath all the way out. All right, and then we're slowly going to slide the chest forward. Keeping those forearms parallel, keeping those fingers spread nice and wide. Okay. Try to pull those shoulders back and down, and we're lengthening through the neck and the crown of the head. And we're sealing those legs and ankles together. Still breathing here in your Sphinx pose. Again, we're holding here for 3 minutes. Now, if you're new to YIN, just a little explanation of why we're holding 3 to 5 minutes in each pose. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get into the fascia, which is that netting around the muscles. Okay. And it takes 3 to 5 minutes to release that fascia so that you can stretch the muscle that's underneath. And sometimes it can be very uncomfortable to hold these poses for such a long period of time. But it's going to give you the strength in your personal life outside of your practice to push through hard times in life. So it's kind of like a little exercise in being strong, being patient, and just toughing it out. And continuing to breathe, making sure that you are breathing all the way up into the back of the head. And exhaling all the way down into the tailbone. It's a continued manipulation of the breath. It takes a little bit of effort, but it's very helpful to the body to get all that extra oxygen. Okay, and then now you can just come all the way flat onto your forehead. Extend those arms out long in front of the head. And then we're going to take our right arm, okay, the right arm, and we're going to cactus that arm out at a 90-degree angle. Okay, then we're just going to place that arm back down on the ground. Maybe you want to scooch over a little bit and get your arm on the mat. Okay, and then we're taking a nice deep inhale. And on the exhale, we're just rolling the body over onto that right shoulder. And then we're going to take that top leg, and you can either let it hang, or if you'd like a little more of intense stretch, you can bend the knee and place the sole of the foot to the floor. And then I'm just taking my left hand, and you can just tent the fingers up to give yourself some leverage out in front of the chest. Or you can take that left palm and you can bind it behind the back. Holding here for 3 minutes. And you can leave your head on the mat, or if you'd like to get a little deeper stretch, you can try to lift that head up and off of the mat. Breathing through the stretch. Nice deep inhales all the way up into the back of the head. Even draw that chin down just slightly to create extra length in the back of the neck. Nice deep inhales. and then just coming back onto the belly, onto the forehead. And then we're taking that cactus arm, the one that's at the 90-degree angle, and we're just going to straighten that arm out, okay? Coming directly out from the shoulder joint. And then we're placing that arm back on the ground. Take a nice deep inhale. And on the exhale, we're rolling that body back over onto the shoulder again. Again, taking that top leg back behind you, letting it hang, or bending the knee, placing the sole of the foot to the floor. I'm taking my top arm, I'm tenting the fingers up, right in front of my chest. Nice deep inhales all the way up into the back of the head. Drawing that chin slightly down, lengthening through the neck and the crown of the head. And then if you'd like to, you can always take that top arm and bind it behind the back. And if you'd like to go even deeper, you can see if you can place both soles of the feet to the floor or to the mat. And then if you'd like to go even farther, see if you can take the fingertips that are behind the back. If your fingertips can reach the upper arm, just gonna use the arm as a little guide to try to crawl those fingertips down and interlace the grip behind the back. Now I can't do this on this side because I still have an injured right wrist, so this is very uncomfortable for me. But if your wrist is healthy, maybe you can crawl those fingertips all the way down, interlacing the grip. Again, holding for 3 minutes here to open that fascia and open the muscles, opening the chest, opening the shoulders, creating space for that breath, allowing expansion in the chest and in the ribs, allowing for more space in the lungs and in the breath. One more nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to roll back over onto the belly. Nice and slow. This is the best part of this stretch. We're going to take the left ear to the mat just to kind of counter that stretch, and then take both palms down beside the hips. And just rest and enjoy the sensation of the relief of coming out of that deep, intense stretch. This feels really good. Such a relief. Just hanging out for a few moments. Breathing still. And then we're just going to switch over to the left side. So this time we're taking that left arm. The left arm is out in a little cactus shape, a 90-degree angle coming out from that shoulder joint. And then we're just placing that cactus arm on the ground. Again, we're on the left side of the body this time. Maybe moving over if you want your arm on the mat. Take a nice deep inhale. And on the exhale, rolling the body over onto that shoulder. Again, taking the top leg back behind you. If you want, you can let that leg just hang, or you can bend the knee and place the sole of the foot to the floor. taking my top arm and I'm tenting the fingers up in front of the chest just to give me a little more leverage to push into that shoulder if I want to. Still pulling those shoulders out of the ears, still lengthening through the neck and the crown of the head. And then if you'd like more, you can take that top arm and bind it behind the back. You can bring that bottom knee up in front of the abdomen. Just hanging out here for 3 minutes. Keeping that breath nice and long, still counting. Still inhaling for the count of 8 or whatever your count is, and then still matching that exhale to the inhale. Try to squeeze those shoulder blades together on every exhale. Just opening a little bit more with each breath. And another option to deepen in this position, you can take your top foot and place it on top of that bottom knee, if you have the knee out in front of you. This also gives you a little more leverage to push into the shoulder. And you can also take the top arm, place it to the top knee. And then that way you have a little bit more leverage there in that top arm to squeeze those shoulder blades together. Still breathing here. Drawing that breath all the way up into the back of the head. Exhale, pushing that breath all the way down into the tailbone, contracting the lower abs. Still trying to stay nice and relaxed in the face. Still keeping that jaw slightly gapped open. And still keeping that tongue away from the roof of the mouth. One more nice deep inhale. And on the exhale, we're releasing, coming back down onto the chest, coming back onto the belly, maybe onto the chin, or maybe onto the forehead. And zipping those legs back together. And then we're staying on the left arm, taking that left arm out long, directly out from the shoulder joint. And then we're placing this arm back on the floor, back on the mat. The left ear is to the mat. Take a nice deep inhale. On the exhale, we're rolling over onto the shoulder again, taking that top leg back behind you. Maybe bending the knee, taking the sole of the foot to the floor. And you can hold here, or if you'd like to go a little bit deeper, maybe you'd like to take both soles of the feet to the floor. And holding here again. Or maybe taking that top arm, binding it behind the back. Still breathing. Still counting that breath. Still matching your inhales to your exhales. Still keeping that navel drawn to the spine. Squeezing shoulder blades together. Still lengthening through the neck and the crown of the head. Still drawing that chin down. creating length in the back of the neck. And then again, if you'd like to, if you can reach the top arm, or if you can reach the top of the bottom arm with the fingertips, you can use the arm as a guide to just crawl those fingertips down and interlace the grip behind the back.